The fire sermon opens with a graphic description of the River Thames. Autumn has set in. The leaves have fallen. The river's tent is broken. The land is brown. The wind blows across the brown land. The nymphs have departed. The nymphs are the prostitutes who haunt the banks of the Thames in search of customers. The nymphs have departed. The nymphs are no longer there. And the same is true of their friends. The term friends being a euphemism for customers. And who are the customers of the prostitutes? The loitering heirs of city directors. To loiter means to stand, to wait without any apparent purpose, to wander without any apparent purpose, to walk slowly without any apparent purpose. The loitering heirs of city directors, the sons of the rich businessmen of the city. They used to frequent the place during summer. The nymphs are not there. Their customers, the sons of the rich businessmen of the city, are not there. And during summer, they used to pollute the place by throwing empty bottles, sandwich papers, silk handkerchiefs, cardboard boxes, cigarette ends on the banks of the river. It is significant that the customers of the nymphs, the heirs of the rich businessmen of the city, have left, and also have left no addresses. It is obvious that they don't want to be traced, least of all by the nymphs. Even a casual reader of the wasteland is bound to notice that T.S. Eliot repeats a line from Edmund Spenser's Prothalamion. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Edmund Spenser's Prothalamion is a nuptial song which celebrates the twin wedding of the daughters of the Earl of Worcester. The contrast here is between the holy union between the daughters of the Earl of Worcester and their husbands, and the illicit sex that the loitering heirs of city directors have with the nymphs. Much water has indeed flowed in the Thames since the days of Edmund Spenser, and what T.S. Eliot is able to find in the 20th century is moral degeneration, cultural decay, sexual perversion, the pollution of the banks of the Thames with empty bottles, sandwich papers, silk handkerchiefs, cardboard boxes, and cigarette ends is symbolic of the pollution of the cultural landscape, of the moral landscape of contemporary Europe. We now come across a line which shocks us with its unexpectedness. By the waters of Lemon I sat down and wept. This is a line on which an essay can be written, but I do not intend to write an essay. However, I shall be spending a few minutes on it. By the waters of Lemon I sat down and wept. First of all, there is a clear allusion in this line to the Holy Bible, to Psalm 137 to be more specific. Psalm 137, which is frequently referred to by its opening words, by the rivers of Babylon, is one of the most moving psalms ever. It speaks of the Jews during their Babylonian captivity. They sit on the banks of the rivers of Babylon and think of Zion, think of Jerusalem, think of their native land, and express their sorrow through communal lamentation. It is one of the most beautiful, one of the most touching, one of the most moving psalms. Lemon is the name of a lake in Switzerland, is the name of a lake near Geneva. It is on the banks of Lake Lemon that the castle in which Francois de Boniva was imprisoned stands. And Francois de Boniva has been immortalized by Lord Byron as the prisoner of Chillon through his poem bearing the same name. The word lemon can mean sweetheart, lover, or even more, illicit mistress, illicit lover. And the term waters of lemon can mean lust. To top it off, a personal interpretation of the line is very much possible. You must remember that when T.S. Eliot was writing The Wasteland, he was advised by his London psychiatrist to relax for some time in a place of great natural beauty, in absolute solitude, and thus Eliot travelled to Switzerland, travelled to Lausanne, which is not far from Lake Leman. By the waters of Leman I sat down and wept. This could very well be a factual description of what exactly the poet did when he was recuperating in Lausanne, which is not far from Lake Leman. T.S. Eliot was recovering from a nervous breakdown, was suffering from anxiety neurosis, was tormented by several psychiatric problems, and he found himself in Lausanne, not far from the waters of Leman. The very next line, "Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song," shifts the focus, shifts the thematic focus back to England, to the River Thames, on whose banks stands London, and whose banks and on whose banks we had come across garbage symbolizing the moral, spiritual, sexual garbage strewn on the civilizational floors of Europe. I have already observed that the line, Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song, is borrowed by T.S. Eliot from Edmund Spenser's Prothalamion. In Prothalamion, it is the refrain. In the wasteland, it becomes a kind of anti-refrain because it functions in a direction which is completely antithetical to the direction, to the thematic direction that is taken by the traditional refrain. The poet here repeats the line in order to heighten the contrast between the world of Edmund Spenser and the world of today. In order to strengthen the darkness, in order to strengthen the image of the darkness that has enveloped European civilization. And this darkness, you must remember, is spiritual, moral, and sexual. In Prothalamion, the speaker comes across two nymphs who are gathering flowers for the bridal crowns of the two girls who are getting married, Elizabeth and Catherine. In the wasteland, the only nymphs that we can come across on the banks of the Thames, on the banks of the Thames, are prostitutes.